President Biden says his infrastructure plan will take an expansive approach. The president says the goal is to, quote, meet the inspiration of the American people. Arts and entertainment leaders want to be a part of that inspiration. They're calling on Congress and the president to acknowledge the arts as a critical part of the nation's infrastructure. Museums, concert halls, and theaters across the country have closed during the pandemic. As the nation slowly reopens, industry advocates are asking for increased federal aid to help accelerate the recovery process. Joining me now is Rachel S. Moore. She is the president and CEO of the Music Center in Los Angeles. Rachel, good to have you here. So you are among the arts leaders who wrote this open letter to Congress and President Biden. Make your case. Why do you think the arts are a part of infrastructure?
Well, we are a huge part of the American economy, and we have been disproportionately hit by COVID. And historically, we have not been supported by federal policies that support other industries. For instance, we are 4.5% of the gross domestic product of this country. That is a huge sector, and we want to be supported. We are about jobs. We want to grow. We really believe that until the arts and culture sector is brought back, the American economy will not thrive.
Rachel, you say we are about jobs. Part of your argument is obviously that the arts are an essential revenue builder for the U.S. economy. What precedent does that set for other sectors of the economy? Should leisure and hospitality also be considered part of U.S. infrastructure?
Absolutely. I think that, when you look at the American Jobs Plan, it is about jobs, and these are all good jobs. And we want to, the arts are not just about artists or people who are on stage. We have secondary and tertiary impact on jobs, from sanitation workers to restaurant workers to people who park cars. These are really important piece of our economy, and these are regular folk who need good jobs, and we're part of that. So yes, absolutely. Tourism, which is a huge driver as well, is part of this package.
Before the pandemic, how much revenue was the arts and entertainment industry bringing in compared to other industries that are receiving federal aid? And what aid is currently going to theaters, galleries, and other art institutions that are struggling to reopen because of the pandemic?
Well, we're about a $900 billion industry in this country. As I said earlier, 4.5 of GBT. And that's an enormous piece. We have the federal government has just passed something called the SVOG, which is the Shuttered Venues Operators Grant, for $16.25 billion. And that is going to help this industry recover. I mean, you have to keep in mind that these organizations were the first to close and are likely to be the last to open, and people are completely out of work. 11% of these industries or these jobs, companies think that they won't come back at all. 11% think that they will be closed permanently because of COVID. Hugely impactful to communities large and small.
Yeah. So, Rachel, what exactly are you asking Congress to do for the arts and entertainment industry in terms of federal funding?
We want them to support the Defend Arts Work Now Act, which is really about a relief plan for the arts, which would help retrain or train artists, especially in digital, and will incentivize and help support the safe reopenings of our facilities, because that's important to not just the workers, but for the patrons and the artists. We also want support for the Put Creative Workers to Work Act, which is a recovery initiative that will incentivize the support and growth of arts education and arts educators, and also retraining for the arts, and really help look at a lot of the policies around how arts workers work to make them more attentive to their needs. Most arts workers are gig workers, and we need to make sure that the protections that are put in place for most gig workers will help artists as well. So that's what that's about. We also really would like for there to be representation in the executive branch for the arts. this enormous industry that is so impactful to us as a country needs to have a voice at the table. We need to be involved in the conversations about intellectual property law, copyright, immigration, because visas are incredibly important, both for the export of the arts as well as the import of the arts. So, and tax policy, many arts organizations are nonprofits, and the tax policies greatly impact them. So we need to have a voice at the table. And we have heretofore not had that.
Rachel S. Moore, thank you for coming on, and good luck to you and everyone in the arts industry.
Thank you. Thank you very much.